There isn't an explanation, but I myself would assume that it's because they have a low-level shield in place that's specifically meant to hold in the atmosphere. Because when I get to the door controls up ahead to activate the shield, you'll see that any phantom that tries to fly in gets destroyed, indicating that it's a solid shield. Oh, jeez.
What can we do to keep the Covenant out?
Missed so much. I just finished up Shutdown. You only missed one level, Sephiroth. Jeez, come on. Now's my time. Ah, sniper. Let's see if I can get him before this one comes in.
Dr. Tilson, base 7 is
Nope,
secure.
he got here. Okay. Now I'm dead. I'm undoubtedly dead. Yep, there we go. Grrr.
What can we do to keep the Covenant out?
Harbor Master controls can erect a barricade over the bay, but we'll have to locate.
Oh, I forgot. This level is like great for the lore. There's so much juicy stuff because because they pulled out so many artifacts from Gamma Halo. So there's this one room that's just really it's like a story fan's like candy store. It's great. That's the room with the hunters in it, by the way, so that's coming up shortly. I'll talk about all the objects in there. Alright, here we go, here we go. Oh jeez, almost fell. Oh.
Dr. Tilson,
Here, now this guy's gonna... Yep, see, there we go, as you can see, so now it's a solid barrier. Which would indicate, no, Cortana wasn't, yeah, okay, so wait, let me read that actually. So, by the way, what did Tilson say that made Cortana call her a bitch? Cortana wasn't calling Tilson a bitch. As I said when I was playing on Requiem, a lot of Cortana's rampancy fits, which many people don't realize, is, like, she's talking from Dr. Halsey's point of view. And, she's talking about that was a reference to the first time that Cortana and Dr. Halsey met, like right out, because like when Cortana and Dr. Halsey was created, or no, sorry, when Dr. Halsey created Cortana, the first thing they did was play a game of chess together, and after the first game of chess, Cortana said her first words, which were in Italian. And it was the line, in English it translates to, I don't know how to say it in Italian, but in English it translates to, like, when the game is done, the king and the pawn go back into the same box. And so that line of calling, you know, quote-unquote, her a bitch is sort of from Dr. Halsey's point of view directed at Cortana. Oh, jeez. Where's that, there we go. Eat this. Wow. It's actually, it's actually pretty interesting, though, like what 343 did with those rampancy moments, because it gives you sort of a look inside Cortana's mind, because, you know, a lot of humans believe that they were created by an intelligent being, that be God, or in Ancient Aliens' case, aliens. But you know, Cortana actually has a tangible creator, which is Dr. Halsey. So it's interesting to see her thoughts sort of through her rampancy moments about her creation, and sort of what she thinks about Dr. Halsey and what she thinks Dr. Halsey thinks about her. about the artifact room. Why don't the Storm use the activation index, or do they have more priorities? Well, right now they're under the thrall of the Didact, so they're serving him. And Julom Dama is like, sure, he's totally cool with that because that was his original goal, to get the Didact and have the Didact lead him. So they're more interested in getting the Composer because it lines up with the Didact's ideals. You know, they're sort of just they're sort of just playing the blind servant role. Of course, when the Didact, at the end of Halo 4, the Didact comes right back to not Gamma Halo, where he does come back to Gamma Halo, but he goes right back to Ivanov's station to grab the index. Because he's like, alright, fuck this, I'm just gonna combine the Composer and Halo together. Which isn't, you know, like, he didn't MacGyver it, it's like, actually something that was originally planned. Well, it's not officially stated, but it's heavily it's heavily implied. It's heavily implied that Halo doesn't just have to fire, you know, it's energies that kill sentient beings. It's also implied that when paired with a Composer, it can increase the Composer's effective range. The Hunters they're fast in Halo 4, yeah, but they're actually not they're not any faster than they were in Halo Reach, because they're like identical to the way they were in Reach.
Tilson's inside the door.
Minus, you know, probably less health. Okay, so there's a few things I want to do in this room. So the scientists and Oni security here have some cool things to say, and then there's a pseudo terminal, and then there's a ton of other artifacts with pseudo terminals attached to them. So we'll go listen to Dr. Halsey's pseudo terminal, which is right here, because this is Dr. Halsey's old room.
Catherine Halsey, personal observations, December 15th, 2554. While the survey crews examining Gamma Halo may be what pass for experts at ONI now, they are woefully out of their league for a task of this scale. There has been one somewhat startling discovery, however. One of the teams stumbled upon a device remarkably similar to the AI Matrix compiler, currently in use by the UNSC. Seeing as how I designed that particular compiler, this finding, needless to say, has piqued my curiosity.
That's in reference to the Composer. It is actually remarkably similar, because the Composer kills the host, and to create its essence for use, and the UNSC Matrix compiler does the same thing. That's why it's only ethical for smart AIs to be created off of dead hosts, because if you do it on a live host, it kills them. Alright, so the artifact room. This one's empty, obviously. Here we have this.
Specimen 1534, initial findings suggest an imaging component, perhaps a piece of some large device or possibly a vehicle of some sort. Reticular hazing also implies use as a beam focuser. Could have done double duty as a weapon sight. Passing off to spec work for further testing.
So the really cool thing about this is that in the game's files, this item right here is actually identified as Sphinx_I, which obviously make you think it's a part of a war sphinx, and 343 literally came out and said, yes, this is the eye of a war sphinx, which is pretty cool.
Specimen 815. Now that's a bit misleading, as we've been seeing these things all over the Halo. Icon is similar to other Forerunner glyphs, with the noted exception of a strong vertical extrusion. Going to send this to linguistics, but I don't know. My gut's telling me there's something else here.
Yeah, so the vertical extrusion she's talking about is if you see this, like, center, like, you can see that the eld is cut up into very distinct sections. You have one section there, one section here, one there, and one there. This center section, in some depictions of the eld, the center section extends way up a bit more. You can see this on some of the book covers, and in the game a bit, in some instances. But if you guys will notice, this center section is literally the shape of the Janus key. I would know because I photoshopped the Janus key onto the Eld, and it's literally the same. When did Halsey get a chance to work on Gamma Halo? She said her log in there was noted to be 2554. This is after the Covenant War ended.
Okay, specimen 2006. Artifact is believed to be the activation index for Gamma Halo, based on anecdotal information from Alpha and Delta Halo mission logs. Key component in the activation and firing of the Halo weapon. A few of us have been speculating lately if it has secondary and tertiary purposes as well. Theories still forthcoming.
This is actually the object that got people thinking that maybe the Composer and Halo were tied together, because he talks about the secondary and tertiary purposes of the activation index. And I mean, it makes sense, because why the hell would you have a Composer on a Halo ring? That was all the things. Let's see if we can actually get some scientists to tell us some cool things. That was very interesting.
Glad you showed up, Master Chief. What is it?
Tell me something. Okay, you tell me something.
What?
Tell me something.
Still standing.
Alright,
Just lead the way, sir.
screw that. Cutscene. Yeah, and when she was arrested, she was put when she was arrested, she wasn't in prison for very long because she was sort of used as slave labor. She was put to work on Infinity and then Ivanov Station.
I'll start us down.
I don't know which was first, actually.
The device you recovered was a
No,
forward
Infinity was first, Ivanov Station was
weapon.
second.
That ship wants it back.
Wants it back.
But the scientists on Ivanov Station in this level, they've said some really cool things.
We don't have any choice, Doctor.
The coolest thing I remember them saying was they've talked about Venezia, actually, which is crazy.
Unless you're a lot stronger.
Venezia is a planet that
It's not going anywhere.
it's sort of like it doesn't belong. It's a
You need
planet that
Cortana
doesn't belong to the
access to
UNSC
station
or
supply
UEG.
manifest.
It used to, but after the Covenant
can't
War,
move the
like the
Composer,
UEG thought it was
you have to
glass
make sure
because
the
the
Didact
colony
can't
went
either.
dark. They didn't bother checking. It turns out they weren't glassed, and
We have
they actually still have a colony there, and there's Covenant living on the planet with them. Grunts, brutes, and jackals, all living in harmony, and adhering to human traffic laws, which is pretty crazy.
I'm sorry, Doctor. Keep routing your people.
Not
to
that there's
the
police on Venezia, but, you
Once
know,
we take care of the Composer, you won't have much time.
Make sure the nukes are primed so you can detonate them remotely. Maybe next time you rescue us, you can give us more time to pack.
Next time.
this part right here, it made me think that, like, I was like, oh, she's gonna get in trouble again in Halo 5 and Chief's gonna have to save her. And then she dies in Halo 4. It is me.
Doctor, what was that?
The Covenant. The Covenant shot down the first evac shuttle.
The station should be equipped with outer